Welcome to another video presented by Buns on the Run. Today it's all about family. For me, family and food have always been entwined. All our family traditions include something to do with food, whether it's vacation, birthdays, Christmas, or even funerals. There's always food involved, and these traditions and recipes go back 5 generations, and we're going to bring some of that to you.
Today
we're going to make Grandma's sticky chicken and potato salad. This morning, and most of the components of this dinner I can make ahead, so I'm going to start with the potato salad. And the first thing I need is some hard-boiled eggs. Now, I've seen a lot of methods online, on TV, how to make the perfect hard-boiled egg. This is the way my mother taught me, and it works for me. So you want to make sure, first of all, you have a pan that's just large enough to fit in the eggs that you need to make. So don't get a great big pan and do 3 hard-boiled eggs. You want to put the eggs in so that they make one layer on the bottom, and there's not a lot of wiggle room left when they start boiling. I need 4 hard-boiled eggs for the potato salad, plus a couple for the top for decoration. So that's 6, and I'm going to make a couple extras so I can have some egg salad tomorrow. And I'm going to cover these with water, put them on the burner uncovered, bring them to a boil, and then I'll cover them, turn off the burner, let them sit for 20 minutes, and then run them through some very cold water to cool them off. And they peel very easily, and they're done just right. So that's step 1 for our potato salad. The chicken breasts are really large on this particular chicken, so I actually am taking the bone off because otherwise the chicken breast is going to take much longer to cook than the rest of this. So I'm going to remove the bone, and again, I'll save that for stock anyhow. Just cut down and around. I use a small knife for this because it is more precise and I don't want to cut myself. Get through some of that skin, so we'll save this for the stock. There we go, a nice chicken breast. Put its skin back on. We want that skin for later. And dry it off. Grandma's sticky chicken. So I've got a 6-pound chicken. I went to the butcher, I bought a whole chicken, and I asked him to cut it up into 8 pieces, traditional fried chicken style. So we're gonna have 2 thighs, 2 breasts, 2 wings, and 2 drumsticks. And the extra stuff I'm going to use to make some chicken stock. So you can see, first of all, I'm drying these completely. I want to get any excess moisture off. That's a big wing. The wings I'm actually going to save to be part of the chicken stock. So I have the chicken all patted dry. I'm going to salt it liberally with just plain salt. This was not a step of my grandmother's, but it gives you a nice, tasty chicken on the inside. It's called a dry brine. So you want to pat the chicken dry, liberally salt it, into the fridge, 4 to 6 hours, or you can even do it overnight. So I'm going to put this in the fridge until it's time to start dinner tonight. The eggs are done, and I said I wanted really cold water to cool them off quickly. Here's my secret: ice. And then I'm going to pour a little bit of cold water over them to get them going. And as the ice melts, these will cool pretty quickly and I can get at using them. It's also a good way to use up some of that ice out of your freezer, especially in the winter if you haven't been using your ice maker a lot. The ice can get a little stale tasting. This is a great way to use some up and get some fresh ice going in the ice maker. While the potatoes are cooking, I'm going to get started on the rest of the potato salad. I'm going to dice it up, not too fine. I do want some crunch and chunkiness in there, so a fine dice is too small. I've also got a beautiful Italian sweet onion. I just discovered these by watching one of my favorite Italian chefs on PBS. They're sweet and just a little sharp, but they're not as overpowering as some other raw onions can be. I've got some fresh ground pepper, and then I'm going to chop up some parsley as well. Now for the dressing. As you know, I'm from Wisconsin, and there's this wonderful salad dressing there that you can buy in the stores. It makes the best dressing for coleslaw or potato salad, but I can't buy it in Las Vegas, so I made my own. If you'd like the recipe for that, just contact me. There's an email at the end of the video. So I'm going to add about a cup of that. And I did make this a couple of days ago because it gets sweeter and better blended as you let it sit in the refrigerator. And then I'm going to add an equal amount of real mayonnaise. So about a cup. I'm going to blend those together. And this is a celery seed dressing. That's why it's so hard to find. You can find all kinds of vinaigrettes and Caesar and ranch, chipotle, but I have yet to find anybody that makes this dressing outside that one Midwestern company. So you can see how nice that looks already. It's got celery seed and celery powder in it. And I'm going to kick up that celery taste a little bit more by adding just a bit more of celery seed, just a pinch, a good pinch. And then we have fresh celery. We have our onion. I didn't do a fine dice on this. I like the crunch. I like the little bit of sharpness you get. I'm not going to use it all. Fresh parsley. And some fresh ground black pepper. See how simple that dressing is. And the reason I'm making this ahead, as soon as those potatoes are done, I'm going to peel them, cube them, and drop them right into the dressing. The dressing is going to soak into those potatoes because of the heat, and then the longer this sits in the refrigerator, the better. This is a great summertime menu because you can make the potato salad ahead of time, and the chicken is going to be as delicious as any fried chicken, but you're not going to fry it, so you don't have to get the kitchen all heated up. And it's a very satisfying end of summer meal. And I say end of summer, it's the second week of October, and we're still in the 90s here in Las Vegas. So I thought this would be a great eat dinner outside kind of thing. So that's how our dressing looks. Beautiful. So I peeled all the hard-boiled eggs, and you saw they peeled pretty easily. I do save the water here. I give them a quick rinse to make sure I get off any excess little bits of eggshell. I set aside my two best looking ones for the top. That's going to be the garnish on the top, and I saved the extra ones here. I'm going to make some egg salad later and have it for my lunch. And I'm going to dry these off. I don't want to add excess water into the salad dressing. And then I'm just going to chop these up. I've got a little extra shell there. Don't want that. So I'm just going to have them, quarter them, and then just chop them a little bit. They don't have to be super fine pieces. You do want to get that egg flavor when you bite in. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these. And the potatoes are done. I've drained them. giving them just a couple minutes to cool because they are too hot for me to handle right now. And then I will peel them, cube them, and into the dressing with everything else. So 4 eggs is a good amount. You can add more or less if you don't like the eggs. They're not essential, but I'm trying to pay homage to Grandma today, so I'm going her way, which is a good amount of egg in there. So I'm going to put the egg into the dressing. And now to peel the potatoes. So I'm down to the last couple of potatoes, and you notice in the beginning, tried peeling them with a knife, and that was to show you it's not that easy to peel. But if you cut them in half, let them sit a few seconds, that skin will come right off. If you got any little dry or brown ends to potatoes, just cut that off. And your hands will get sticky because of all the starch that's coming out of these potatoes. And then we'll just finish dicing them. And throw outside. So this will be a little more portable, and we don't have to keep it hot. And by dinner time, it should be cool enough that we don't need to worry about the mayonnaise spoiling either. So there's all our potatoes. And I've been putting a few in and stirring up as I go. Like I said, you want that warm potato to soak up all that beautiful dressing. Now it does look like there's too much dressing here, but this is all gonna soak in as we put it in the fridge to chill. And then we'll put the sliced hard-boiled egg and a sprinkle of fresh parsley on top before we serve it. So I'm going to cover this with plastic and put it into the refrigerator. So my potato salad is chilled. I'm going to pour it into this nice serving bowl. And it's already gotten thicker, soaking up some of that dressing, and it's going to soak the rest up because this is going to go back into the fridge until dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and get my egg slice and put those on top. Try to keep the yolk inside because it's going to add a much more decorative look. Sorry, just ruined that one. Okay, so we're going to put that on there. You can hear I'm watching cooking shows even as I'm cooking. I like the company. And then I'm going to get a little parsley out of the fridge and top that. When I bring home things like parsley or other herbs, I tend to wash them right away. And if there's any bad bits in there, I take them out. And that way when I want to use this, I can get right at it. I don't have to wash it. So I'm just going to chop this up a little. Doesn't need to be super fine. And you don't need a lot because this is just for a fresher, more beautiful look. We've already got some parsley in there. Now my grandma used to top this as well as her deviled eggs with paprika. And it looks pretty, but I don't like the taste so much of the raw paprika, so I tend not to do that. Okay, so there's our potato salad all set for tonight. Looking good. It's gonna go into the fridge and gonna get on the chicken. I'm going to take about a half a cup of this dredge, this flour mixture, and set it aside. I'm going to use it for some crispy onions we're going to be doing. And now, time to toss the chicken. Just go a couple pieces at a time. Zip it up. Give it a toss. A lot less messy than doing it and getting your fingers all sticky. Alright, add a couple more. I'm not going to take them out here and put them on the pan because I don't want to lose any of that coating. Because this is what's going to bring the deliciousness to this chicken. And the legs. And remember, I used the wings to make that chicken stock. Let a little bit of that air out. There we go. Alright, so our chicken's nice and coated. I'm going to get the pan ready to go and we'll start frying. While the cast iron skillet is heating up, I'm going to take care of the onions. I've got that last quarter onion that we were using today and one of the Italian sweet onions. And I'm going to give these a soak in some buttermilk, about 20 minutes. I want to make sure they're covered. And I am going to give it just a dash of hot sauce. This is sriracha. Gonna mix that up thoroughly so we get hot sauce on all of them. And these are gonna soak while I'm frying the chicken, and then while the chicken's baking in the oven, we'll get to frying these. And they are going to be a crispy, crunchy, salty, and delicious addition to our sticky chicken. All right, that looks pretty good. We'll set that aside and on to the chicken. I've got the cast iron skillet nice and hot. I've got 3 tablespoons of butter that I'm going to melt, and I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of olive oil as well. Love the flavor of the butter. I love the olive oil's ability to keep the butter from burning too quickly. We don't want to burn butter flavor on our chicken. So I'm just going to let that melt down. And then we'll start adding our chicken pieces. And you want to make sure that you add the chicken skin side down. We want that to get nice and crispy before it goes in the oven. And I'm starting with the thighs because they do take the longest to cook. And look at me, I said skin side down and I didn't do it quite. I need to open it up a bit. And I'm going to add our breasts, which are pretty large as well. This is a pretty big chicken. And then we will nestle in our drumsticks. And turn the heat up just a little bit. Get these frying. Okay, time to check our chicken, see how it is. We want it to look nice and golden. Oh, that looks pretty good. No, not quite ready. I'll give these a little bit more. Okay, let's give it a check. Oh yeah, looking pretty. Now you don't want to get it too dark because this is going to finish cooking in the oven. But you want to get it started with a nice crispy top. So there we've got everything flipped. Now my grandma used to cook this in an electric fry pan. I actually love my cast iron skillet for this and many other things. And what I'm going to do is turn this off, cover it with foil, put it in a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. Then I'm going to check the temp and take the foil off and let the last little bake be without the foil so that the sticky coating remains sticky, but it also gets a little crispy. Time to go into the oven. So I'm going to take a quick moment here to temp our chicken. It's nice and golden. Got the juices bubbling in the pan. Oh, it's not on. So I'm going to go ahead and temp our chicken. I took it out of the oven because I don't want the heat of the oven to register, but just the temperature of the chicken. And it is actually done. I'm going to put it back in for just a couple minutes so that the top can get a little more golden and crispy. Time to fry us some onion strings. Crispy onions also is the name for them. We've got the oven, I've got the oil at 365 to 370. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I don't want to let it get too hot and burn these. And you can't do them all at once, of course. You notice I also have my salt at the ready. Anytime you're deep frying something that's going to be salted, you want to do it as soon as they come out of the fryer, because the salt will stick best to something that's still got the hot oil going. And you can see these are not taking very long to cook up. They're still going to be crispy onion and coating. And I like that they're in little clumps. It's more fun that way. So we're going to get batch one out. Salt it right away. And go on to batch two. This will probably take 3 batches to get these all going. Finally, Grandma's dinner is done. I'm going to give it a taste. Go after the potato salad first, see if it brings back childhood memories. Really good. And for not being able to find that dressing in the store, I think the homemade hit the spot. And now for la pièce de résistance. That is hot. I'm going to give this chicken a taste. Grandma is here in the room with us right now. Bless you, Grandma.